Welcome back, beautiful soul. This is day 2 of our week exploring interpersonal resonance, and today we're focusing on something that might just change everything for you: the mirror check. You know, I was working with a client last week. Let's call her Jennifer. And Jennifer told me that every single time she tried to talk to her husband about something important, it would turn into a fight within 60 seconds. Every single time. And she was convinced that he was the problem. She'd say, "He's so defensive. He can't handle any feedback. He shuts down the second I bring anything up." So I asked her a question that stopped her in her tracks. I said, "Jennifer, what state is your nervous system in when you approach him?" She looked at me like I'd just spoken a different language. And then, slowly, she said, "Well, I mean, I'm usually pretty worked up. I've been thinking about the conversation all day. By the time I actually talk to him, I'm already kind of tense." Bingo. See, here's what's happening. Jennifer's nervous system was in the red zone before she even opened her mouth. Her jaw was tight, her shoulders were up by her ears, her heart was racing, her breath was shallow. And her husband's nervous system, his mirror neurons, were picking up on all of that tension before she said a single word. His body was reading her body as a threat signal. So by the time she started the conversation, his system had already gone into defense mode. She thought he was being difficult, but really, he was just responding to the frequency she was broadcasting. And listen, I'm not saying this to blame Jennifer or to blame you if you've done the same thing. We all do this. When something's been bothering us, when we've been rehearsing a conversation in our head for hours or days, by the time we actually have that conversation, we're already activated. We're already in red zone. And we walk into the room broadcasting that activation to the other person's nervous system. So here's what I taught Jennifer. And here's what I want to teach you today. Before you walk into any room where you're about to have an important conversation, whether it's with your partner, your boss, your teenager, your best friend, anyone, I want you to pause just for a moment. I want you to do what I call the mirror check. Here's how it works. Put your hand on your chest, right over your heart. If you can, close your eyes. If you're driving or you can't close your eyes right now, just soften your gaze. And I want you to ask yourself one simple question. What frequency am I vibrating at right now? Notice, is your heart racing? Can you feel it pounding against your hand? Is your jaw tight? Are you clenching your teeth without even realizing it? Are your shoulders up by your ears like you're bracing for impact? Is your breath shallow and fast, like you're trying to get oxygen but it's not quite reaching your lungs? If the answer to any of those questions is yes, you're in red zone. Your nervous system is activated. You're in a state of fight, flight, or freeze. And here's what I need you to understand, my love. There's no judgment here. Being in red zone doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It just means your nervous system is trying to protect you. But, and this is crucial, if you walk into a conversation in red zone, you are preloading that interaction for conflict. Your partner's nervous system, your boss's nervous system, whoever you're about to talk to, their mirror neurons are going to pick up on your tension before you even speak. Their body is going to read your body as a threat signal. and their nervous system is going to respond accordingly. They might get defensive. They might shut down. They might get angry. They might walk away. Not because they're difficult, not because they don't care, but because their biology is responding to your biology. So here's what I want you to do. Before you turn that doorknob, before you walk into that room, before you start that conversation, take 60 seconds to regulate. Just 60 seconds. That's all. Here's the protocol, and I want you to do this with me right now. First, plant your feet on the ground. If you're standing, feel the floor beneath you. If you're sitting, feel your sit bone on the chair. Press your big toes down into the ground or into your shoes. Good. You're creating stability. You're anchoring yourself. Now we're going to do a breathing technique that sends an immediate signal to your vagus nerve, the main nerve of your parasympathetic nervous system, that the threat is over, that it's safe to connect. Here's how it works. Take 2 quick, sharp inhales through your nose. Sniff, sniff, like you're smelling something wonderful. And then 1 long, slow, audible exhale through your mouth. Let it be a sigh. Let it be loud if you need to. Let's do it together. Inhale, inhale. And exhale. Ah. Good. Again, inhale, inhale. And exhale. Ah. One more time. Inhale, inhale. And exhale. Ah. Beautiful. Do you feel that? Do you notice that shift? Maybe your shoulders dropped a little. Maybe your jaw unclenched. Maybe your heart rate slowed just slightly. What you just did is called a physiological sigh. It's one of the fastest ways to downregulate your nervous system. You told your vagus nerve the threat is over. The predator is gone. It's safe to come out of the basement now. You cleared your mirror. And now that you're in yellow zone or maybe even green zone, now you walk into the room. Now you start the conversation. And watch what happens. Watch how differently the other person responds when your body is no longer broadcasting threat. You know what happened with Jennifer? She started doing the mirror check before every important conversation with her husband. And within 2 weeks, she came back to me and said, "Erica, I don't know what happened, but he's so much less defensive now." And I said, "Jennifer, he didn't change. You changed the frequency." And he responded. That's the power of the mirror check, my love. You can't control the other person's nervous system, but you can absolutely influence the resonance of the space. And when you walk into a room regulated, grounded, clear, you give the other person permission to do the same. So here's your practice for today. Before every important conversation this week, and I mean everyone, do the mirror check. Hand on your heart. Notice your state. If you're in red zone, take 60 seconds to regulate with the physiological sigh. 3 rounds. And then, and only then, walk into the conversation. Notice what changes. Notice how differently people respond to you. And if you want, send me a message on Instagram or Facebook and tell me what you discovered. I want to hear your stories. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about how to shift the language you use when things get heated. because the words you choose can either escalate the conflict or dissolve it in seconds. Until then, keep checking your mirror, keep clearing your frequency. I'll see you tomorrow for day 3.